Alright, so a little bit of body work here at the shop lately. The last couple of days here we've been dealing with some body issues and I really wanted to get addressed. So in the next little while I'm going to be doing some sheet metal repair here. What we have going on is some very yucky looking floors. You know, it's very, we got a bad cab mount here. Over here in the center looks really good, and we got a small little hole on the opposite side. Nothing major. I want to clean this up. This year I'm going to leave alone. I'm not going to paint any of this, but I'm going to be cutting this out. Brand new rocker panels. They're sitting here. Got a new inner fender for this side, driver's side. Cap is certified. This isn't a typical $50 ones. $50 ones were no good. I mean, these ones are a little more money. They're a little thicker steel, but the holes line up. The other ones, the cheap ones, the El Cheapos, they're very picky. I mean, the holes don't line up for nothing. I mean, they're garbage as far as I'm concerned. So you're better off to buy the expensive ones when it comes to this. They're not that expensive anyway. You know, and if you really wanted, you could scratch pad them, paint them, or just go ahead and gravel guard them if you really wanted to. I mean, I would scratch pad them and paint them because this is basically just a thin layer of primer. I mean, you know, it's very scratch resistant, or it's going to be riddled with scratches. We can take note here that even this rocker panel, like, I mean, it's got its bruises. You know, just from sitting in a warehouse somewhere. These are not slip-on rocker panels. These are outer rocker panels for this particular truck. This one, that one's the passenger side. This one here is the driver's side. Okay, so I mean, I'll cut them out with zip cuts. So I mean, all is, you know, this is all factory original here. The cab corners we don't have to undermine them, thankfully. So I'm just having them sit here. This is what it is like to restore a truck. A truck is a heck of a lot easier than it is with a car. Usually with a regular cab truck, these K2500s, I mean, the cabs were all the same even for the 1500s. We got a sunk cab mount. Well, actually, the cab mount is probably savable, but I mean, I just wanted to replace it anyway because that was the salt side. You know, these things, you could patch them and patch them and patch them forever, but I mean, the frames would usually go, and then that's why they'd end up in the junkyard, because people got sick and tired of playing with them. They wanted a new truck. Well, I mean, if you have something like this, you can keep fixing it and fixing it and fixing it and fixing it. Anyway, this here is an inner rocker and half a floor section. This particular unit has definitely been sitting in a warehouse, God only knows where, for the last, well, that sticker says 2004. So, like I say, there is an endless supply of parts for these trucks that haven't been going anywhere. So usually you can get them, you know, I think this floor section cost me $150. The cab mount was $100. You can get them cheaper. You definitely can get them cheaper ordering them online. I'm not saying that. I just wanted to order them from my autumn parts supplier just so I had them next day. I didn't want to deal with freight charges by ordering them through the States because a big heavy item like this would end up costing me more than what it would cost at the auto parts store. So, and like I say, I don't know, I just wanted to support my local auto parts store, I guess. Although I don't think they're as hurting as bad as what I am right now. So, anyway, so this is upside down. It would go like this. Alright, so this is the driver's side at the back. This is your inner rocker, or what they call just a backing plate. You know, there's nothing really to this. And this is a full sheet too, which is making me wonder if my floor pan that I'm ordering as well is going to be full sheet, because I don't think it was. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll have to probably make a zigzag cut for my new sections to go in, but anyway. So, what else I got in the deal here from the Rock, because I didn't want those useless body mounts. Now we're talking body mounts now cab mounts. Cab mounts are totally different. So if any of you young lads are restoring one of these, a cab mount is actually a piece of steel that's, you know, welded basically to your cab floor section. So what it does is support the cab. Body mount is basically like a body mount on a frame structure vehicle. Okay, this is your mount. This top part here, it would go like this. This top plate is called a top hat. This is your upper mount, this is your lower mount, and this big thing that a lot of young lads confuse as a washer, this is actually called a retainer. And what normally would go is that these parts are all the same. Body mounts are all the same. So for your rad support, which is this guy down here, you'll notice that there is a body mount down there. Well, it does not matter, they're all the same. So if you order body mounts for your truck, you have a regular cab truck, you have 4 body mounts. If you have an extended cab, you have 6. They're all the same. At least I'm pretty sure with the regular cabs. The extended cabs might have taller ones, but anyway, you can always do your own research into that. Regular cab, all 6 body mounts are exactly the same. There's no guesswork with it. So the rad support is the same body mount as what's jammed in here. You notice I shoved a body mount out of my Oldsmobile in there just to kind of support the cab. Yeah, I got to do body work to this truck. This bolt is the exact same thread as the cab mount that's in the truck, so it will thread in there. Now you'll notice that if you take the cab mounts, the cab bolts, the body mount bolts out, if you break one, you know, good luck to you. Usually they're not too bad. You can always access them through the floor, or if you're lucky enough where the head just comes off, usually when you get the mount out, you can just heat it up with a torch and just unwind it. But anyway, the mounts are all the same. So you got the top hat, you got the upper mount, and then you got a bolt through it. So with this, you just take the nut off, you discard the nut, you flip it upside down, the bolt of course, and your bolt would be, instead of through the top hat, it'll be through the retainer. And then the bolt will simply just thread into the cab mount. So the problem with these, if you go to your auto parts supplier and you ask for body mounts for a 98 GMC Sierra, they're probably going to sell you those stupid packaged body mounts that probably will fit a half-ton truck, but if you have a 3/4-ton truck, you aren't going to like the ones that you find. They will work, don't get me wrong, they will work fine, but you don't get any hardware. You don't get a new retainer, you don't get a top hat. They expect you to use your old parts. I don't go for that. I'm restoring this truck, and I spent a pile of money into it. I want this thing to have, well, basically what came from 1998 in there. I don't want to shove garbage in there. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother doing this. So this is by Dorman. Dorman does make these body mounts, so if your auto parts supplier starts showing you crap, you can buy these. They are standard duty. You know what I mean? Like, they are standard duty. You know, you could buy the higher priced polyurethane ones if you really wanted to. There's you know, nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that there's a problem with that. If you really bash the crap out of your truck, you could go and get one of those, but I mean, I kind of pamper my stuff, so I just went with that. So I ordered 4 of those. I'm not doing the cab support, even though the cab support, or the rad support, sorry, could use a new support, because I shouldn't be able to lift this whole assembly like this with my bare hand. So after all that time, you know, I'd come over a certain embankment, and of course, you know, the frame flexes a bit, you know, going over terrain. Well, the fan would end up hitting the fan shroud. I couldn't understand why. Well, that's my problem right there. My rad support rusted a hole through there. The mount is still in good shape, but it's actually causing everything to lift, and then, you know, yeah. So I really do need a new rad support as well, but I mean, I kind of have to get this stuff done first so I can at least utilize the truck again, but all that takes time. So anyway, lads, if you guys are restoring your truck, you know, you have an extra grand to blow, it'll cost you about that. You know, if you see something as bad as mine, hey, you know what, it's not horrible. If you have something worse than this, that's fine too. it's not that bad. I mean, you know, gut the vinyl floor out if you have a vinyl floor. If you have carpet, gut it out of there. Just take it out of there. If your vehicle was used in a lot of salt, you know, you might notice that your transfer case shifter is absolutely wore the hell out. Like this one, look at all the salty goodness. You might want to replace one of those as well. They are offered. If you have to take yours out if you have a four-wheel drive. See this bushing in here? It's totally wore out. That's no good anymore. I'm actually surprised there was no play in it, but there is absolutely no bushing there anymore. There's so much play in that. Yeah, this definitely needs to be cleaned up. Maybe I can reuse it, I don't know. But, you know, if you have a junkyard in your area and you might have a whole bunch of old Chevy trucks, maybe it'd be best for your interest to try and find one that's in better shape, you know. But anyway, it's not bad. You know, if you have something like this, don't get discouraged. I know there's a lot of truck enthusiasts that want to restore their truck, or maybe they bought one for real dirt cheap and they realized that, hey, like this thing is really, really, really f***ed. Don't panic. This kind of stuff is fixable. You know, if you have a MIG welder, you can weld them in. If you don't have the argon gas, that's fine too. You know, nobody's going to see it when you put the carpet back in, as long as it's structurally safe and sound. Who the hell cares? So anyway, a couple days we're going to get started on this. We're going to turn this truck into a nice truck again. Someday get new door shells. That won't be for a while, that's for sure. New fenders. And at some point, going to totally give this thing a paint job. And make this old plow truck in something that isn't all that hard on the eyes. Anyway, lads and lassies, take care of yourselves. Lots of projects here on the go at the shop, but we're getting there. Take care of yourselves. Have a nice weekend.